Something that I hear a lot on this NoFap journey is guys saying that, okay, I want to do NoFap and I want to get to 30 days. I want to get to 60 days. I want to get to 365 days without relapsing. And then they go ahead and relapse, and then they feel sorry for themselves, and then they tell themselves that NoFap is so hard and it's so difficult. And then they watch all these NoFap videos all over again to get back on the same streak that they were on before. Look, the reality is, if you want something in life, you just have to go and get it. And if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. If you don't want it bad enough, and you're simply telling yourself that you want it, but deep down in your heart, you really don't, you're not going to get it. It's as simple as that. There are men out there who will eat you for breakfast alive if they wanted to, right? This is how motivated they are. This is how driven they are. I don't know if you've ever heard the motivational saying that if you want something, then go for it. Because if you don't, there are other men who are going to get it before you. There are people out there working harder than you are. People out there, men out there, waking up earlier than you, going to bed later than you, sleeping less than you, working harder than you, earning more money than you, doing the things that you want to do. And they're happy and they're successful. And this is how they live their lives. They compete, right? Top of the competition, alpha males. This is what life is all about. I'm tired of hearing men and boys saying that they can't get anywhere. Excuses after excuse after excuse after excuse. Look, I understand that NoFap is difficult. It's challenging. An addiction to pornography and masturbation is probably one of the worst addictions psychologically in the world. That is a God-given fact. And I completely agree with it because I myself have suffered from an addiction to pornography and masturbation. But the reason why I'm saying these things in today's video is because I myself have been addicted to pornography and masturbation. I have been in a position where I'm telling myself that I want to break free from this addiction, but when I relapse, I tell myself, oh, it's too hard and it was too difficult, and oh, I'll go again tomorrow, I'll try it again next week, and I'm just not ready. And look, I understand now that back then when I was relapsing over and over and over again, it's because I simply didn't want the success that NoFap had to offer. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't want it bad enough. Only when I was ready to fully engage in the game of NoFap and semen retention did I begin to see the results that I wanted. And it took time and it took effort. But once again, it's very true when people say that if you want something bad enough, you will get it. And if you don't want it, that you won't. Because looking back at my younger self, I realized I was just telling myself lies. I was just telling myself a dream. I knew the benefits of NoFap existed. I knew that I was addicted to pornography and masturbation. I knew the detrimental effects that it was having on my life. But I continued to do it anyway. I continued to relapse after relapse after relapse. Why? Because I simply didn't want to remove that addiction from my life bad enough. And only when I was ready to do it did I become successful on NoFap. So look, it's as easy as saying this. If you want to do NoFap and if you want to be successful on NoFap, you'll do it. If you don't want to do it, you won't. So what can you take away from this video? You simply have to be honest with yourself. You really have to sit down, look in the mirror, take a deep breath and ask yourself, do you realize the detrimental effects of pornography and masturbation? Are they having an impact on your life? And if so, what are those impacts? Do you want to remove this addiction from your life? And if so, why? How are you going to do it? Do you really want to do it? And if so, you will. This is an art of masculinity. This is a divine masculine aspect. Is as men, we go out and get things. And so if you want something, you will go and get it because you have been gifted with the ability to go and do so. And it might not be the right time for you to break free from your addiction to pornography and masturbation just yet. And so that's why you might be struggling with constant relapses. However, when the time is right, you will eventually master it. And you can consider this as being part of a divine masculine initiation, the initiation from going from a boy to a man. You see, the boy is the one who tells himself that he wants to break free from the addiction to PMO. The boy is the one who tells himself that he's had enough and he wants to be successful on NoFap. But it's also the boy who relapses consistently on a consistent basis, and then he goes back to the same old things that he was doing before, and then he watches the NoFap videos again, and then he relapses. It's only the man who decides he's had enough. It's the man who has the strength to put aside all those urges that are going through his brain. It's the man who tells himself that no, pornography and masturbation is detrimental to my health, and I don't want any part of it, so I'm going to completely ignore it for the rest of my life. Only the man can do that. So if you're taking part in NoFap and semen retention, consider this as part of your masculine initiation. This is the stage where you go from a boy to a man. You see, many of our ancestors used to have initiations, right? Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and the ones before those had to go through some form of initiation in the family, in the tribe, to be considered as men. And sometimes these initiations would be really, really rough, right? They'd be really tough and aggressive. Sometimes hunting, fighting with wild animals, swimming in wild waters, things that we couldn't even imagine in today's society, right? So how can we now give ourselves initiations? What's our initiation as men in generations like these, in the times we are living in? How do we initiate ourselves from boyhood to manhood? NoFap and semen retention is one way to go about it. So once again, it's the boy who is consistently going to relapse over and over again. It's only the man who is going to find success on NoFap and semen retention. Divine Masculine Tantra. I hope to see you on the next video.